Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the 93rd episode of the Retrotopia podcast. My name's Alan, and today we are sinking our rotten teeth into the survival horror titan Resident Evil for the PlayStation 1. And yes, I know, haha, the British guy saying, making a rotten teeth joke, but I'm a little bit tired of that joke, I'll be honest with you, because I'm British, and I can assure you that all three of the teeth that I have in my mouth are gleaming. Now, if I sound like I'm in a good mood, I am, because I am a huge, huge Resident Evil fan, and I have been pitching for this show. No, I have been pitching for this game, rather, to get an episode of the show almost for the entire time that I've been part of the show. So this is a present to me, and that's why I'm doing the intro this week. That said, if you're like me and you can't wait to get into the rotten meat of the episode there, then you can spin on about half an hour or so down the road, and you'll probably get into the game chat. It's a little bit longer perhaps than usual because we have some plugs to get out of the way. We have our questions and comments from the Patreons as usual, the gentleman's interlude, and debuting today, a very special brand new section of the intro. That would have been so much better if I hadn't stumbled over my words. But I'll give it the pomp and circumstance that it deserves when we get there. So if you'll indulge me, stick around, have some fun with us. We talk some games, we take some wild and wacky questions. I'm going to start off, of course, with our socials. You can find all of our social medias. You can find our merch store. You can find our Patreon and all of that good stuff at linktree/retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/retrotopia. Come find your social media platform of choice and comment, share, spread the word of mouth, and help us get more ears on the show. That would be lovely. If you fancy wearing some of our special designer Retrotopia gear, then why not take a look at our Dashery page there and see if there's anything that takes your fancy. We also have a Patreon that you can come and support us on. It's free to join at the basic tier, and you get access to all of most of our extra shows. I should get used to saying that now. You can listen to our quick play mini review series. You can listen to Retro Bites, our monthly gaming and life discussion show, 15 whole days early with an extra topic tacked on for the Patreons there. You can vote in polls, which we've just had recently. I think it's still ongoing. We have our Boomer Shooter poll going on at the moment, which that should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing what wins that one. I think there's a very clear front runner there, but I'm not going to call it before the race is done. There is a $2 tier of our Patreon, which gets you all of the above, as well as the ability to pick a game for our quick play series and throw it at the host of your choice, and just get a special episode of that show dedicated to you. And you also get access to our relatively new show, New Game Plus, where, every once in a while, usually at the moment it's turning out to be roughly once a month, although that could change depending on our availability, but we'll look at one of the newer games that we've been playing recently. Something that we've been playing that doesn't fit with Retrotopia, but we would really like to talk about. So far, we've got Robocop Rogue City by Sam sitting in the archives. We've got Doom Eternal by yours truly. And I do believe our man Brian's got something in the oven, so we'll have to see what he turns up. It's Brian. It'll be fucking awesome, whatever it is. Now, regardless of what tier you are at Patreon, you can comment on our 9-bit banter box because, like the banter box itself, you guys are culturally elegant. All right, then, let's see what we've got here. First up on the 9-bit banter box, we have Chris Kaplane, who says, Alan, with new changes in your country, can you listen to your own show without a license? And he actually spelt it license, which I really appreciate. Thank you for making me feel at home, Chris. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what it is you're referring to. I can only assume it's to do with the new internet safety measures, and if it's not, well, I'm going to talk about that anyway, because no, I can't actually listen to my own show without sending a copy of my driver's license, some photographic evidence. I have to dance in front of a camera, which is a bit weird because I'm not sure why they want my clothes off for that one. starting to think maybe Brian set up this checklist, but I can't prove anything. But yeah, since our show is deemed not safe for work, I can only talk about it. I can't actually listen to it. So, I hope it goes well. But there you go. Thanks, Chris. Next up, Mr. Hooley says, Alan, if you had to live the rest of your life as a sentient vegetable with tiny arms and legs, what vegetable would you be and why? That's a good question. I suppose it would have to be a fairly round vegetable, because I myself am a fairly round vegetable. Do you know what the first thing that comes to mind is? I'm going to be a sentient Brussels sprout, because it's round and it's, I think Brussels sprouts are misunderstood. It's a misunderstood vegetable. I really like Brussels sprouts. I think they get a bad rap, and I would like to help sort of set the record straight about Brussels sprouts. Plus, there's probably about 50-50 for people who actually like to eat them, so I like my chances of not getting eaten. I think I'm very likely to run across people who just don't want to eat me. Which is always appreciated, because that's not the way I want to go out, which is a very poignant thing to say on this particular episode. So yes, I will be a hairy Brussels sprout. Why not? Thank you, Hooley. Radmac says, hi Alan, 2 questions. How did the 3 of you meet, and what made you want to podcast together? Well, that's a great question, actually, and I'm sure we'll get into it, because as we're on the road to the big episode 100, I'm sure we'll be reminiscing and waxing lyrical on that episode there as well. But I met Brian on the Remember the Game Discord the first day I showed up there. My handle, of course, being Captain Alcatraz, his being Captain N. Good old Brian, good old Captain N there, immediately fired shots across the bow and was like, another captain, how fucking dare you? And I wasn't having any of it, so I fired back. And from that was born a mutual love and respect that has lasted years now. And yeah, basically, so yeah, the guy gave me shit the first day I turned up in Discord, and I fell in love. So there you go. Sam, I think, was in the RTG Discord. I don't know if he was there for long or if he's still there. I'm not entirely sure, but we hopped to different Discords, and Sam was always there. And Sam's a great guy. Like, you can talk to Sam about anything. So he was always fun to talk to on Discord. And they actually started the show, the 2 of them. Whether or not you're aware of that, the early episodes of Retrotopia were just Sam and Brian, and they drafted me in one day for the what we didn't realise was going to become the Gentleman's Interlude for South Park: The Stick of Truth. And then we're all good friends after that, and they invited me over for Sonic the Hedgehog, and the rest is kind of history. I just kept hanging around. And I think when Brian had to drop out for... what episode was it? It might have been Castlevania, Rondo of Blood. I'm not sure. But I stepped in to help Sam out, and never fucking left. Yeah, you can't get rid of me. I'm like a bad smell. And what made us want to podcast together? I originally had no plans to podcast, if I'm honest. Just kind of fell into it because... I love the guys, I love our chats, and, I never saw myself as a podcaster, but I guess I still don't. I just like getting together with those guys and talking, and just having a laugh. It's just great fun. I love it. Don't tell them though, will you? It's a lot of gushing for this one. Thanks, Radmac. Who's next? The Big Deal. I've never heard anyone call the letter Z... This is going to be difficult. I've never heard anyone call the letter Z Z instead of Z. I assumed it was just a British thing, but now I'm hearing it everywhere. Did you unlock something that my mind has been subconsciously suppressing, or have I just underestimated the range and influence of the Retrotopia podcast? It's the latter. Big Deal, absolutely. Like I said, as I've insinuated my way into the Retrotopia podcast, so am I spreading the British invasion wherever we go, and I'm going to turn Z's to Z literally everywhere, with the exception of Dragon Ball Z, because as we've discussed before on the show, there's no way you can call it Dragon Ball Z. That just sounds fucking stupid. But everything else is fair game, and I am taking over. one podcast at a time. Thank you. Next up, Super Jez, who says, if you could only have one gaming console or handheld for the rest of your life, what would it be and what are the top 5 games? So he lists some. He says, mine is definitely the SNES. Top 5 games are Super Mario World, Mega Man X, Mortal Kombat 2, Super Metroid, and Mystical Ninja. Maybe Final Fantasy VI, so I could finally force myself to play it. That's a hot list, and that is a great console. And I had to think about this one, and you know what? The answer might surprise you. Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. No. You might think I'd go for the Mega Drive, but I'm not. I am actually going to go for the GameCube. Yeah, didn't see that one coming, did you? Well, I'm going to tell you for why, because I figure the GameCube gives me the biggest chance of getting all of the games that I love, because I'm going to go with the Zelda Collector's Edition, because that is one game, and it comes with, fucking hell, Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Fuck, why was that so hard to think of? Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, as well as Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, I believe, from the NES. So they're all on there. So that's 4 games right from the bounce. I'm going to go with the Sonic Mega Collection, because that again is one disc filled with 7 classic Sonic games. So that scratches that itch. I couldn't not show some love to Resident Evil on this episode. I'm going to do the Resident Evil remake. And for obvious reasons, because the original game isn't on the Dreamcast, the GameCube, but the remake is, and that is absolutely incredible. Have to have some Metroid Prime, the first, the original, the greatest, 3D Metroid, I should say, because I agree with you, Super Metroid is probably the best Metroid game. And for my 5th slot, I mean, I thought of something along the lines of Star Wars, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for a Tony Hawk game, because those are just great time sinks. So something like Tony Hawk's 3 or 4 or Underground. I think they were all on the GameCube. Let's say Underground. Let's say Thug. Why not for the GameCube? So there you go. Great question. Thank you very much, Super Jez. And finally, Blaine the Hoagie Man says, were you ever a Goosebumps reader growing up? And if so, which books were your favourite? You know what, Blaine? I was, actually. You've unlocked a memory, because I haven't thought of those books in years. Yes, I used to have a bunch of these things as a kid. I'll be honest with you, it's been so long, I don't remember necessarily any of the storylines or what have you, but some of those covers really stand out to me. I think Haunted Mask. I think there were a couple of Haunted Mask books. I remember enjoying those quite a lot. The Monster Bloods, again, I think there was 2, maybe 3 Monster Blood books, maybe more, I'm not sure. I remember those ones. Night of the Living Dummy, I think, is one that pretty much everyone remembers. I think, like, that's one of those, you think of Goosebumps, you think of Night of the Living Dummy, I think. And that's all that leapt to mind, but what a fucking trip down memory lane that was. I looked up at some of the covers of these things, and man, like, it triggered something. Like, this is you've probably unlocked where my love of horror came from, which subsequently led to things like Resident Evil, so that is a very fucking good question. Yeah, Goosebumps. Does anyone remember Point Horror? Did you ever get those books, Point Horror? I used to read those a bunch, and then that led to Stephen King at a very, very young age, and the rest is history. Resident Evil was not far behind. Thank you, Blaine, and thank you, everyone. That was a fantastic 9-bit banter box, which is going to lead us smoothly into our super slick brand new section. Ladies and gentlemen, come on down and welcome to Choose One, Lose One, a Retrotopia game show. Try your hand and pick your power up from the game of the week, but beware, because every rose has its thorn, every high has its low, and every power has its consequence. So come roll the dice if you dare. Aim for the stars and watch out for the sting in the tail. Alright, it's time for Choose One, Lose One. So this is a brand new game show for Retrotopia, and as it suggests, You get to pick a power based on the game of the week. You can pick any power up from any game that we are talking about. So in this case, the power ups were from Resident Evil, and all the host of the week has to do is ruin things for you. Kind of a spin. If any of you have been listening to our Retro Bite show, it's kind of spiraled out of some of the comments that we've had there recently, and we decided it was fun enough to get its own show. So, and we've got a few to get through here, so let me start off with the first one. Chris Kaplane says, I'd like to casually be able to carry a rocket launcher, shotgun keys, and first aid sprays while appearing that I'm holding nothing at all. Nothing at all. Stupid, sexy Chris Kaplane. Chris, this was an easy one. You get to carry literally everything that you want, as much as you possibly want, while appearing that you're holding nothing at all, because everything is up in your bum. That's right. If you're looking for the rocket launcher, have you checked your butthole? Because that's where it is. Thanks, Chris. H says, I'll take the ability to mix and combine things that are in my inventory without any kind of time, equipment, etc. needed. Like if I have all the ingredients for a pizza in my bag, I can be just like, now you are a full pizza instantly. Okay, yep, you can have the ability to put everything you like into your inventory and combine them, but you have no control over the power now. So everything you put into your inventory automatically fuses and there's nothing you can do about it. Just think of all the gross combinations of things you could end up with. Like, I don't know. Oh, if you look at my bag, there's some gross shit in there. I never clean that thing out. So, you never know. You could end up with fucking pineapple on that pizza. Ugh. Mr. Hooley says, well, they seem to be able to take a few hits from zombies without getting infected, so I will take that as my ability. Done, Mr. Hooley. You can now take a few hits from zombies without getting infected. The problem with that is you have now developed a zombie biting kink. And unfortunately, it's going to take over your life. You're going to end up in the seediest zombie strip clubs, getting nibbled on for spare change. And you're going to lose all of your money, go bankrupt, and end up living under a bridge somewhere, getting nibbled by zombie dogs. So enjoy, Mr. Hooley. Thanks for playing. Radmac says Chris Redfield kept in my basement in a gimp costume like the gimp in Pulp Fiction. I have questions, Radmac. Many, many questions. But yes, there you go, done. Chris Redfield now lives in your basement, but it is Resident Evil 5, Chris Redfield, and he is going to punch down the foundations of your house like the boulder punching weirdo that he is. Um, so sorry, I guess you're homeless now, but I hope it was worth it. Super Jez says, I would like to keep a bag of first aid sprays everywhere I went. Not for me, but every time one of my kids gets a boo boo, I can tag them with it and keep moving. Come on, kiddos, we got crap to do. Jez, I mean, it's a clever ploy, but if you think I'm going to go easy on you just because you got your kids involved, then you don't know who you're dealing with. Done. You have the first aid sprays. You can use them on your kids whenever you like, but every time you do, they get their Zenkai boost from Dragon Ball. Every time you spray your kids, they get more and more powerful until it gets to the point that they now tell you when to go to bed. No arguing. So there you are. You've shifted the balance of power in your household. Well done. Excuse me. Sharkbite says, I'll have the shotgun if it's Resident Evil. I'd use it to blast my way through the world, assuming I have enough shells to get me to a safe area. I'm a little bit worried that you're blasting your way through the entire world. I'm tempted to not give you the shotgun, but all right, you can have your shotgun. The problem is, it's gone floppy. It's a floppy shotgun, and every time you want to use it, you have to shall we say, pump it until it's fully erect. And every time you use it, it moans loudly and alerts all the zombies in the area to your sexy presence. I don't know. Is that much of a? I think that might be a kink for someone. Moving on. Blaine the Hoagie Man says, "I'll have a pet hunter, please." Okay, you can have, you fucking weirdo. You can have a pet hunter. I don't know why you'd want one, but done. Your pet hunter starts to look a little bit under the weather, a little bit ill, until you realize that it requires human blood in order to survive. So you give it all the human blood you can possibly give it, and then it upgrades to needing human bodies. And then you have to start feeding it human bodies. And then eventually it eats you, takes over the world, and that's you've destroyed the earth. It's got a great singing voice, though. Um, I guess you just didn't know what you're messing with. Because if you know, you know, and that's the true ending to the film. I'll brook no dispute. And finally, Super Dave says the herbs in, or should I say, the herbs in the UK or the herbs in the US, the herbs in Resident Evil have amazing healing property, and I want their real life counterparts, matcha, turmeric, aronia, to be just as busted. Okay, I'll play along. So the herbs, all of those herbs you've just mentioned are now busted and they heal you perfectly. The only problem with that, Super Dave, is you've now developed like the coriander gene or cilantro, I think you call it. You now have the gene that makes all of those things taste absolutely fucking disgusting. Except instead of tasting like soap, they taste like zombies. So enjoy eating those disgusting, rotting zombie flavored herbs. Well played. And that's gonna do it. Thanks, guys. Fuck me, that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know. Let us know. That was a good time. So I guess that brings us, and as I'm keeping an eye on the time here, doing our best. But that brings us to what have I been up to? Well, I'll keep this brief because, I've already talked too much and this isn't helping. So, what have I been playing? Resident Evil, obviously. Fucking love that game. Spoilers. I have been playing. I think it's safe to assume that I'm playing Monster Hunter World every fucking week for the next 5 years, unless you hear differently. I am also playing. I've booted up Tears of the Kingdom again because I tried it once. I never got very far with it, and for some reason, I just fell off of that game. And this time, I'm trying to make this one stick, which is a horrible thing to say because I am a die-hard Zelda fan, and something about this game is just not. It's just not clicking with me. But I'm trying again. And last night I fired up Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and let me tell you, that game is fucking clicking with me. I've played about an hour of it, and I'm in love. It's Castlevania by any other name. And yes, I can see myself. You know when you fire up a game and you just instantly you just know that you're in it for the long haul. That's Bloodstained. So looking forward to getting through that. Okay, which brings us inevitably to a special news bulletin from the offices of Retrotopia News with the Gentleman's Interlude. Mysterious goings on in the Arkley Mountains. Locals blame zombies. Officials say probably just bears. July 31st, 1996, Arkley Country, USA, by Bill Vickers, field correspondent. Last seen running towards the woods screaming. Something strange is afoot in the normally peaceful Arklay Mountains, just outside the quaint Midwestern city of Raccoon. Reports have been trickling in over the past few weeks of hikers going missing, strange growling sounds echoing through the trees, and an unusually high number of abandoned sandwiches found half-eaten near forest trails. While local authorities are blaming wild animal attacks, possibly bears, possibly overzealous squirrels, others whisper a darker explanation. "It's definitely zombies," said one overly enthusiastic local man in a trench coat who refused to give his name but did insist on being called Barry. "I saw one eating a raccoon, not a raccoon city citizen, a literal raccoon." The Arklay Mountains outbreak has attracted the attention of both the media and a special police task force known as STARS, Special Tactics and Rescue Service, who were dispatched last night to investigate a series of particularly grim disappearances near the old Spencer Mansion. Their arrival was met with immediate confusion, some light thunder, and a lot of very awkward camera angles. On the scene coverage was briefly attempted by RCTV Channel 7's own Maria Winters, but was cut short when her cameraman wandered into the underbrush to investigate a groaning noise and never returned. Her last broadcast contained the chilling words, "It's very dark out here, and wait, is that a guy or oh my god," before the feed went black. Capcom, the Tokyo-based developer behind the Resident Evil franchise known as Biohazard in Japan, has declined to comment on whether the events eerily mirror the plot of their original 1996 survival horror classic, which was first released on the PlayStation on March 22, 1996 in Japan, and later in North America on March 30th of the same year. Conspiracy theorists are having a field day naturally. It's like the game jumped into real life, muttered one teen at a local diner, loading up his Game Boy with extra batteries. First it's a game, then it's a movie, then it's just Tuesday. At press time, members of the Bravo team remained unaccounted for, and Alpha Team was last seen heading towards the mansion, possibly for a nice dinner or possibly for a dramatic, undead-filled evening of inventory management and door animations. Stay tuned for more updates, unless we get eaten. In which case, just assume we gave it a solid 8 out of 10. Classic survival horror vibes. Back to you in the studio, Alan. Thank you for that, Alan. So, before we get to the game of the week, of course, we always like to hear what you guys have to say. And we've got a few comments here, which I should have had open, but I didn't because I'm jumping all over the place like a hunter from Resident Evil. Chris Kaplane says, I don't think this game gets enough credit for moving the PlayStation ahead of the N64 and Saturn. It was a game that provided horror with the right amount of violence to make it perfect for older audiences that may have started to grow out of Nintendo. It may not have held up at the best today, but hell, that's why you have the incredible remake. True classic and one of the best games ever made. I know I liked you, Chris. Yes, I agree. I mean, I do also associate Resident Evil with the Sega Saturn. I know it was on there as well, but PlayStation is undoubtedly where most people got their Resident Evil fix, and I was the same, and it blew me away because, again, yes, as you say, this was one of the first games that really showcased to me the more adult side, I guess, of gaming. And we'll get into it on the episode a bit more, but agreed. Uh, Mr. Hooley just says, boo, tank controls. I guess, I have to admit though, I mean, I grew up playing Resident Evil. It's one of my favorite game series of all time, and I've got a special place in my heart for the tank controls, but I can understand why they're not everyone's cup of tea. Sure, they can be fiddly, but in this case, I think they kind of add to the atmosphere of the game. Um, Again, I'm sure we'll go into this. I mean, we're due to record this in a couple of hours' time, and I'm sure the tank controls are going to come up. So, thank you, Mr. Hooley. And so, Super Jazz says, this was probably my first experience with a true horror game as a young lad. I remember playing at a buddy's house who lived in the woods and being afraid to walk out of his front door when my mum came to pick me up. Fuck me. You played Resident Evil and then had to step outside into the woods in the dark. Like, oh, I can't even imagine. I mean, yeah, I agree. This is probably my first experience with a true horror game. Um, but not a lot of woods around. So I can't relate, but fuck me dead. I bet you were jumping at every fucking dog bark as well. My God. Oh, sorry, I've missed the rest of your comment. Actually, this game is probably the reason I still don't play horror games. The scaredy cat just doesn't do spooky. That's fair. I mean, I love my survival horror games, and it started with this. I like being spooked out. Yeah, less so these days than I did when I was younger. I used to just gobble up every horror, every spooky thing I could get my grubby little hands on. But I am slightly more of a wuss as I've gotten older. Um, and then finally, Blame the Hoagie Man says, I never really had much hands on experience with the original version of this game until last year, getting ready to do an episode of our own show. But I did play plenty of the remake. But I will say, I love the claustrophobic feel of the mansion and trying to survive all the monsters and other horrors of the game. The item management or lack thereof works well. I just found playing as Chris was a little too difficult, so I had to play this on easy with. Oh, hang on. So I had to play this on easy, but with Jill, I could manage. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I beat it this time round as Chris, but that is no mean feat. I mean, just the lack of item management, and it is a much harder game as Chris, and I'm sure we'll go into this again on the episode. Usually 9 times out of every 10 when I'm playing this game, I play as Jill. Because I just want to cruise through and just have a good time. But every once in a while, I'm feeling a little bit sadistic, and I'll take Chris out for a spin if he's free from whoever's basement he was in the gimp suit in earlier on. Okay, that's gonna do it. Okay, guys, listen, thanks everyone for writing in as always. Keep them coming. Thanks for indulging me on this slightly longer intro, and thanks for playing our brand new game. This has been a really fun intro. So without further ado, so grab that ink ribbon, try and make space in your pockets for those shotgun shells. They will come in useful later on, and do try not to become a Jill sandwich as we discuss Resident Evil, released on the PlayStation 1 on March 22nd of 1996. Thanks for listening, guys. Enjoy the show. And we are back, and what a glorious day it is, because after all this time waiting, I finally get to talk about one of my favourite franchises of all time. We're talking about Resident Evil, released for the PlayStation 1, and with me in one corner, wearing sunglasses at night, in the dark, inside, is my buddy Sam. And in the other corner, Mr. Itchy Tasty himself, Brian. Fellas, how are you doing?
Pretty great. I hate that I have to be Enrique, though, or whatever that guy's name is.
No, you're Albert Wesker.
Enrico?
Wesker, Enrique is the guy, whatever. But yeah,
spoilers.
Wesker. Wesker's such a douche.
Itchy Tasty just made me think of like scratching my balls and then like licking my fingers to see what's there.
That has got to be the record for the quickest derailment of the show ever.
Oh.
We're already talking about Brian's itchy, tasty balls. Thanks for listening, guys. Enjoy the show.
I'm so put off right now.
No editing.
I could stand to hear a little more. I'm not going to lie. Resident Evil, guys. Now, listen, I am massively excited, as you well know, because this is one of the games that I've been sort of pitching to you basically since I joined. I mean, the original 5x5s were still a thing when I was talking about fucking Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And now we're finally here.
Yeah. We had to let you off gently because you were still on probation at the time.
Sure. I completely appreciate that. But now that I've paid my dues, I'm finally getting what's coming to me. And I know my history with this game, but I want to hear about you guys. Like, where do you stand on Resident Evil 1 and just Resident Evil in general? Sam, go for it.
This was my first one.
Ooh.
I do have a little bit of history with it, but I think it was... I think it's probably Resident Evil 2, because you remember those like official PlayStation magazine jam packs that they used to do, like the demo disc?
Oh, the demo disc?
Yeah, I had a really great demo disc that had a lot of different stuff on it, and I believe, does Resident Evil 2 start in like a dark alleyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it was definitely Resident Evil 2, but I definitely played around with that quite a bit, but never actually got into it. And I had Resident Evil on the Switch. I think I got it a couple years ago. I never finished it, but I played a good amount into the first section of the mansion. And like a tryhard, I try usually to not play with a guide, but I would not have finished it without a guide, I will say. It is very tricky, and there's definitely stuff you can miss. So I don't have much history with it aside from playing it now.
Sure. But no, that's awesome. What about you, Brian?
I think I played in a demo because I got my PlayStation in roughly around 96, 97. I think it was actually Christmas of 97 I got it because it was all about Final Fantasy 7 at the time. So, I was just looking for games to play, so I was kind of playing everything, and at this time I was still used to tank controls, so pretty sure I rented this game is where I first played it, and kind of loved it at the time. Not so much this time, but it's not that I hate it, it's just tank controls infuriate me these days. But yeah, so it was just way back in the day when it came out, or not when it came out, but like when I got my PlayStation, I just rented it and played it. I never finished it the first time I played through it. think I had to do several rentals just to finish the game off. But I had a memory card. I could save my game and carry on the next weekend.
Nice.
Yeah,
Man,
That's
that's really
awesome.
great time.
that was the awesome thing about renting PlayStation games is that you could have you didn't have to worry about some asshole deleting a save file or whatever on a cartridge.
Yeah.
Is you always had that. Yeah, that was plus or if you bought the game, like you played it and you liked it and you hang on to your save file and buy it. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
and then you
that's
can
off
just
topic.
carry
but
on.
That was
No, definitely
pretty
not.
rad.
No, you just carry on from where you left off.
just got to give the
I
PlayStation some love.
Oh, 100%. And that's like, I didn't have the PlayStation back in the day, but I remember distinctly. I can see the entire scene in my head of going round to my nan's house and my uncle, uh, who lived there. He had the original PlayStation One, the big blocky fucker. And
Mm-hmm.
we were just hanging out, and he was the cool uncle. He still is. He still is the guy. Shout out to my uncle. I'm not going to name him on here, and he's probably not listening, but still is the cool uncle. And he showed us Resident Evil 1. I mean, he had no business doing it. I mean, we were young at the time. But I remember watching him play up to the first reveal of the zombie. And that was it, mate. I was hooked. Like, I had to get hold of this game. And it just kickstarted my love of survival horror, just reignited my love of horror in general, and I just became completely obsessed with this entire franchise. And that has lasted to this day. I've almost every single game in my collection, and I just love it. It all started here.
Yeah, I've only ever played 1 and 2.
Really? Well, I mean, if you've only
Yep.
ever played 2 Resident Evil games, I mean, those are peak as far as I'm
But,
concerned.
but here's the weird thing is I liked both of them. I just stopped playing them. I think I just fell out of love with the I guess the style with the tank controls or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
I've just never gone back, and everybody's like, Resident Evil 4 is the best everything in the world, blah, 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 and I'm not even interested anymore to go back and play that, even though I have access to it.
Sure. I say,
I don't know how this game completely became meh to me, but it shouldn't have because it was really, really good.
well, exactly. And, there's loads of games around to play, and you kind of put things aside and then play something else, and it falls out of favor. But I mean, how about the impact that this game had on gaming? Because it was
Oh, for
definitely not
sure.
met at the time.
Well, it started the 3D horror genre. I don't know, let me rephrase that because somebody's going to like jump down my throat. It
Popularized.
popularized the 3D horror genre.
Is
Oh,
this the
absolutely.
Final Fantasy VII of horror, like survival horror? Like this is like the moment that
Well, this and Silent Hill.
yeah, for sure. Like
Definitely,
both,
definitely.
and they're both just as hard to control.
Yeah, well, oh man.
No doubt.
But back then when tank controls were the thing, this game controlled really, really well because your brain for some reason was wired for these tank controls. It's like Mega Man Legends I could play when I was young. Tried it like a year ago. Fucking not even gonna attempt that game again because I can't wrap my head around these tank controls.
And let's take a pause here because I don't want to assume I didn't know the term for tank controls when I first heard it. So tank controls are when you in a 3D setting your up button is always forward instead of a true 3D where like your stick and the camera angles can change.
Not necessarily in a tank. You like if you ever watched old movies or cartoons, a tank is controlled by spinning the two tracks in opposite directions to turn. So as you're driving, it's not using a steering wheel. You're actually to turn left. The one track would go backwards, the one would go forwards, and that's why a tank can kind of turn on the spot.
Right. But
So
but
tank controls,
in a video
yeah,
game
tank
sense
controls
though.
were. Yeah, in the video game sense, that's the thing is you turn on the spot,
Right.
but you have to have forward momentum to go forward. So whether it's the shoulder buttons or the left and right, it's just you're turning on the spot.
Right.
And you see, I don't hate the tank controls. And I understand they have their detractors, and it's fair. I mean, it is an outdated style of gameplay.
Yeah.
But for this game, I really think it works because it forces you to really try and navigate this claustrophobic this setting that you find yourself in. and it
Yeah.
just
Oh, it absolutely adds to the realism as well because I also run, stop, turn, then run forward, stop, turn, then run forward, stop, turn, then run forward.
but it just increases the tension, doesn't it?
It increases the attention simply because it forces you to stop while a zombie is chasing you. The zombie who is able to turn while walking.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
There was definitely like times when I was fine with it. Like I could run from room to room, have no problem. And then the second I saw a zombie or something I had to avoid, my brain would just shut off. And like if I thought about it too hard, like if I was in any danger, I'd
Yes.
fuck it up, and I'd get stuck on shit, or I'd run straight towards the danger or whatever. Like it,
That's the same with me. The second I thought about the controls, it was over.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
I had to do it on an automatic feel by touch and all that kind of crap because as soon as it's like, well, I want to turn left, and all of a sudden my brain would start doing math to turn left. I'm like, oh, I'm done.
yeah, for sure.
Like-
That's the hard part about it, really.
I mean, I can appreciate that. I mean, obviously, this is a game that I've played, like, God, I can't even count how many times I've played this game. So, to me, that sort of tank control still feels very second nature. And I think a big part of that sort of stop, start, and that confusion as well is it's the camera angles as well. It's the fixed camera angle that you don't often know what's literally in the next screen. So, you really have to be prepared for anything, which again just ramps up that tension so well.
Yeah, the camera angles absolutely increase the tension, and it's what makes the tank controls work as well. Because when you switch screens, all of a sudden your controller's not telling you you're running up when you should be running down. As long as you're holding up, you're moving forward.
Right.
It was the best solution for a game like this. And yeah, some of the camera angles as well, like you're looking down a hallway, but the camera's tilted to give you a bit of disorientation.
Oh, so well done.
Yeah, that's-
So
Yeah,
well done.
I like that.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive.
Yeah, the angles are superb for like not being able to see around corners. Like think about a long open hallway, yet the camera is turned such that you can't see down it no matter what, because it's for whatever reason it's oriented towards like the corner that you're coming from and not where you're going to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And think of the opposite of that when you're in the lobby there and you have this camera like on the second floor of the lobby and the camera's very high up and you can really see a lot. You feel safe.
Yeah, the lobby is always like, oh, like, and there's a typewriter sitting right next to the staircase for some reason.
I mean,
Yeah, that's normally where I do my typing.
oh, 100%. And I'm literally only just thinking of this now, but it sort of has an almost voyeuristic kind of appeal to it, where it's like, it's not looking at you through security cameras, but it kind of feels like you're being watched.
Yeah,
Right,
it does. It does give security camera vibes. That's a good point.
Yeah, I've only just thought of that now, but I think that's
'cause
again
you're-
why it works so well.
That's because you're a pervert.
Well, if the shoe fits, come in it.
Oh,
So let's backtrack a little bit because I wanna talk a little bit about setting the scene. I think most everyone knows what Resident Evil is about. It's your typical sort of haunted house story, but with zombies. But let's talk about that opening cutscene a little bit because that's something, right?
Well, is it the same? Because I played the. All right, I think what is the original version on Switch, but then you can also play. It's basically like the game plays the same, but they basically kind of like reskinned it and up-res the graphics. But I played it on PS Plus with the director's cut. Is there additional content in the director's cut, or is it just kind of like an up-resed version of the original, like a re-released version? I was never clear on what the deal was.
You know what? I'm not entirely sure on this because I've only ever played the original release. I think there's extra content in there, but I cannot confirm.
Because the original cutscene in the director's cut version looked awesome. It was like, I mean, pixelated obviously, but it was like a movie.
Yeah, I mean, you have live action actors in the original
Yeah.
game, but it's amazing. It's
looks
so poorly acted, and
Oh yeah.
just so B movie, which again just sells the whole experience, and I just think it's
I
incredible.
think, yeah, I think I skipped it by looking at my phone because I don't know. I
Oh,
don't
Brian.
like I'm watching it right now on YouTube and I just don't remember it.
Oh.
Just
I
Brian's
particularly
like,
love.
let me know when the zombies show up. Whatever.
Yeah.
oh, that was pretty much it. It's like I wanted to get into the game. Like I was doing this as a refresher because I do still have memories of the game and I really wanted to preserve that childlike wonder of it without having it ruined by running through the game again and being angry like some people were.
I
So,
I just love that bit where the chopper is flying away and they're just standing in this field. Bear in mind they're being chased by dogs, and they just stand there stock still in this field, and they're like, "No, don't go," and they just all look so
Yeah.
sad before then being chased again. And it's just it's one of those things where it's so bad it's good. You
Yeah,
know?
it's very
yeah,
silly.
yeah, I'm watching it on mute right now and probably the best way to watch it.
Oh, I don't know that
Oh,
that's
I can
entirely fair.
see the bad acting. Like you don't even need voices or anything. Like you can just see the terrible acting. Like they probably were the developers who did this themselves because they couldn't afford to
Do you know
hire
what? As far as I know,
Z-list actors.
As far as I know, they are actually actors, and they've recently tracked them all down and had interviews and what have you with them. So I recommend
Did they
looking
really?
that shit up.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they
amazing.
have.
How did this ruin your acting career? Well, after it came out, I wasn't able to get a job to save my life. They won't even hire me at the grocery store.
Well, at least you're in one of the greatest games ever made. So that's one string to your bow. So yeah,
That's true.
That and $1 million would give you $1 million.
so so you play as one of two members of the Special Tactics and Rescue Squad, or STARS Alpha Team, either Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine, and through a series of misadventures, end up inside the Spencer Mansion, tucked
I
away.
like that misadventures. You make it sound like two roommates
Yeah,
with opposite personalities.
yeah.
They
Just
really
need one of
odd
those.
coupled their
Chris
way
is a
into
former
the.
Air Force
Yeah.
pilot. Jill is a former member of Delta Force. Watch this Sunday as they try to make things work.
You know what? You joke about that,
Catchy theme song.
but when they actually do like the cast list at the beginning of this game, it does look like a fucking sitcom. It's so
Yeah,
good.
it really does. Yeah, and the theme songs are cheese too. Like
Oh, major cheese.
there is an intro song and an outro song for the end credits, and they're both just Silent Hill does the same thing with the with the theme songs. Like the rock songs that are just kind of soft rock, weird. Yeah, I love it.
There's probably going to be a fair amount of Silent Hill comparison here, because I don't think you can really talk about one without the other, really. I mean, both of them together are kind of the founding fathers of the survival horror genre.
They're very similar gameplay too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I prefer Silent Hill though over this, and that might have been the reason I fell out with Resident Evil, because I prefer the tension Silent Hill gives you, where this has a lot of jump scares or things that jump out and attack you. So there's a lot more visible enemies in this one.
Yeah, see, I respect that. I don't think there's a wrong answer to which is better, Resident Evil or Silent Hill. I mean, gun to my head, if we're just talking about Resident Evil 1, Silent Hill 1, I'm giving it to Resident Evil 1. Don't ask me about Silent Hill 2 and Resident Evil 2, because that's a whole other podcast.
Well, yeah, see, I would give it to Silent Hill because I remember playing that at my dad's maple syrup farm. Yes, I am Canadian. And he lived out in the boonies, like the last house on the power grid. And when it was nighttime, it was pitch black. And I played Silent Hill at night in this pitch black place.
Ugh.
So that game still scares the shit out of me, even with its blocky graphics.
I don't doubt that for a second. Fuck me. Like, that is...
And I am a world-class coward.
Well, not too scared to play Silent Hill and Resident Evil.
When I was young, I just played Bendy in the ink machine there, and that game scared the absolute living shit out of me.
Really?
I'm an old man, and I know the stuff's not going to kill me, but the jump scares and the tension and the turn around and there's something there just fucking... My heart
I
hurt.
get that. You know what? I used to be when I was younger. I used to just like I used to be obsessed with horror and thrillers and just gore and all of that stuff, and it wouldn't bother me. But now, as a slightly more matured gent, matured like a cheese. Yeah, it just I don't know. I've kind of fallen off of it a bit. It just doesn't appear like everyone raves about that Terrifier series, and I'm just like, nope,
Oh,
not not
oh
not
no,
No, thank
they're
not
you.
for
pretty good.
me.
No,
Oh,
See, the
I've
weird
watched
part
them.
is I can do horror as long as it's like, I guess predictable horror.
mm,
Like, like Friday the 13th is not going to scare me because Jason's going to jump out and you can almost feel when it's going to happen.
sure.
But horror that has like tension and you don't know something's going to happen, but it starts building and building and building, and all of a sudden something pops out at you. Yeah, that makes me shit my britches.
That's fair. I mean, where do you stand on zombies?
I'm sick of them, to be honest.
I am too.
Everything's a zombie. Like Call of Duty Black Ops zombie killing mode, DayZ zombies, Resident Evil. Well, they kind of have the bench or like the earmark on zombies because that's been their whole series. I mean, it just pick another monster. What about mummies? We have not tapped out the mummy market
I
yet.
could go for a mummy survival horror game.
Mummy,
That would
mummy
be
stuff is awesome. That'd be so fun.
give me a survival horror game, but let me play as the cast of the Mummy. You know, Brendan Fraser and all of that.
There you go.
no,
That'd be really fun.
I mean, is it fair to say that Resident Evil may be sort of popularized, or at least was part of the sort of initial popularizing of the zombie genre? I mean, at least
Yeah.
this new wave.
I think that honor kind of goes to 80s and 70s horror movies. What was fuck
George Romero.
As soon as I'm trying to, George, thank you. Yeah. But what was the name of the movie there? He forgot to copyright, or he copyrighted but then changed the name and it fucked him over.
Was it
Night of the Living Dead? Yeah.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, it just, as soon as I was going to say it just left my brain. Yeah, but I think that's where zombies were kind of popularized, and they've never gone away since then.
No, but I would argue that things like Resident Evil kind of are responsible for a resurgence, and basically the resurgence that we're still seeing today.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh hell yeah, but
good game. We should cover that.
But, yeah, we should. But it's almost like, zombie films have been around since the 60s and 70s and got more and more popular. And I mean, I don't know, were they really popular or were they just like B horror movies like the rest? Do we just really like them now? Who knows? But it's like the gaming technology had finally caught up. Like you have the PlayStation and you can work in 3D environments. It's not fully 3D. It is still kind of, like we discussed the controls and the camera angles and stuff. But, this was like one of the first times that you could give that movie feel or the effects of, the claustrophobia of being in a space and having to deal with, shambling undead creatures. And I don't know. Maybe this is this is the spark of the
you're right.
Yeah, the spark of like the video game version of that, and now it's out of control.
Yeah, and it's like how I look at the PlayStation 5 and this generation, I should say, because Xbox should be in there as well. Horror games are going to be insane because the graphics are hitting a peak, and I can't imagine what that new Silent Hill is going to be like.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
With that horsepower behind the PS5. So this must have been the same idea back in the 96. This is 3D zombies for pretty much the first time and done in a really well game. So yeah, I can see this being the same as I look at the current generation. This must be what people are seeing back then as well. It's like, oh my god, this is the most realistic thing I've ever seen. So
I did feel that way. I did feel that way when I first saw this game. I was just like, I'd never seen a game that was this sort of grown up and looked this kind of visceral.
That's the other thing, yeah. PlayStation really made you feel like the games are maturing as well.
Definitely.
Like there was no over-the-top cartoony graphics here. They tried for realistic environments using the 3D models, and then the backgrounds were all like hand drawn or painted or just
Those
I can't remember what they called them.
Pre-rendered.
They looked so
Pre-rendered.
good.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I understand that Final Fantasy VIII is the same way in 7. When you have pre-rendered graphics and then there's something that you can interact with, it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But that's almost,
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't bother me because
No.
it kind of helps you decipher what you can interact with and what you can't, and the rest is just it looks good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they really like make the effort with these pre-rendered backgrounds. I mean, well, you were talking about it being almost, or not almost, being very cinematic. I mean, that's just the level of detail that's gone into creating this the Spencer Mansion and the grounds around it. You know, they really just pulled on every sort of kind of spooky haunted house trope and just almost made a character of the mansion itself. If that makes sense, you feel like you're inside a living thing almost. It feels oppressive. It feels claustrophobic. It feels like a monster.
Yeah, and that type of environment, it really immerses you into the story. Like we were talking, the different camera angles and stuff like that make you feel trapped, like trapped, disoriented. Uh, there's times where you can see there's a corner up ahead, but you can't see around the corner, like Sam was saying. Then you pop around that corner and there's a zombie chomping on a body, and if you get too close, like me, I just ran into it. It's right at the beginning of the game I'm talking about.
Yep.
And of course it gets up and it runs after me, and I forgot that I had to run back. So I run down the hallway and it's just chasing me all nonchalantly there, and then I'm like hitting it with my combat knife and nothing's happening, and I died.
Fuck that
I'll admit
combat
it.
knife. Like that is such a like, oh, here's something that you can use, and it's like I didn't use it once.
No, that goes right in the
Once
chest.
it yeah, it gets put away and that's it. Yeah, but just the kind of the troll of them saying like, well, you start with a knife, so maybe you can use that. It's like you really can't. I mean, it's pretty fucking
Yeah.
useless.
No.
Well, I learned my lesson, and then after that, I kind of just poked at a walkthrough, and yeah, I figured out what I had to do.
And,
Anyways, I played as Jill, so the game was a lot easier.
oh, and I didn't. I don't know why I did this because I had heard that the Chris playthrough was the more difficult one, and I don't know why. I was just like, I'll play as Chris, and fuck.
Oh,
The worst
yeah.
part, the worst part about Chris is that he only has 6 inventory slots, so it's like that alone makes it more difficult.
100%, because
Yeah.
because you now a lot of this game is about avoiding hazards and as much as killing things. So you can get through a good chunk of this game without actually killing any of the zombies, and if you're smart, but you might go through a corridor and be like, right, oh, I safely made my way through that corridor, I don't have to worry about it, I didn't have to kill them, but I got through it. And then you get to something, you just think, fuck, I needed that item, it's back in the chest. So now you have to go all the way back through everything that you've just dodged. And it sort of becomes you have to sort of strategize about the routes you take through the mansion and just think. And one of the good things about this game is that once you put something down, it stays dead. And
That's true.
But to do that with every single enemy in the game, you're not going to have the ammo to do it. So it becomes a
And that combat knife is not going to help.
not at all, not at all. So then you have to start thinking, well, if I need to go back, if I go back through there, maybe I got through one time, but there's no guarantee I'm getting back a second time. So are there any other routes that I can take that I know are clear to get back to that chest and get this item that I need? So there is a lot of backing and forthing in this game, but it sort of allows for sort of planning, strategizing, and trying to effectively use your ammo. It's true survival horror.
It really is.
Yeah, it's definitely item management.
And the other,
I'm not a fan of that anymore either.
it's stressful. Like I was talking about it before we really got things rolling, and it's like the last couple days here I was really stressed out, not only that I wouldn't finish the game in time because I really did want to finish it in time for the episode, but also that I could potentially, like, you get this nagging fear that you get to the end and you're not going to have enough ammo or healing items to actually complete the game. Like, you can, there are numerous ways for you to soft lock yourself and not be able to progress because you just don't you either don't have the right number of items or you didn't collect something, that you need to unlock and go forward.
Yeah, I mean, and then, I mean, nothing is off the table. You can always go back and get stuff, but if you're out of ammo, out of healing items, then that is as good as a game over, and that has happened to me before. You
Right.
just there are zero options. I've used all my ammo. I have zero health left, and there is literally no way I can get. And we'll oh, especially on the second time through the mansion, and we'll get to that. But
Oh, fucking A.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I think everyone
Yep.
who's played this game knows what I'm talking about. There is a particular cut.
I
There is
don't.
a particular cutscene in this game that I always dread seeing, and it always strikes fear into me. But yeah, we'll get there when we talk about some of the enemies in this fucking game. But I think the idea of having two different characters effectively being the two different difficulties of this game is incredibly clever, even if it's not particularly well signposted.
Right. Yeah. The Chris is the picking Charmander of of Resident Evil.
Oh, that was a perfect analogy.
It's not an explicit hard mode, but he plays a little bit differently. He's got the fewer item slots. I joked this is not to be like, I'm not trying to be misogynistic. It's just a funny joke, so don't come at me. But like, I was like, why does Jill have extra item slots? Like, does she just like? I was like, she must just like stick an extra item in her boobs or something.
I mean,
No, no,
No one's
could be.
laughing.
So what
So
you should have said, Sam.
she's
yeah,
carrying a
what you should have
purse.
said is, why does Jill have extra slots when women complain about having no pockets in their pants?
That's actually funnier. I'm sorry. Mine was lowbrow. Brian's was intelligent. But yes, Jill has extra item slots, and next time I play through, and I will, I think I'd play this game again. I'm gonna pick Jill just to have like an easier time with it.
I mean, it is nice that they obviously the stories are slightly different as well. So they did a lot to differentiate the two characters from each other. And most of the time, like I don't know, 8 out of 10 times I play this game, I will play as Jill. Just for the easier ride, but every once in a while, I feel a little bit saucy, and I go with Chris Boulder punching Redfield, and it is tricky, and it is that backing and forthing for the item management. Those 6 slots, they fill up fast. I mean, it's
Yes.
ridiculous. And
Well,
I go on.
it's such a troll too when it's like there is you come into a room where there's like 8 healing herbs just sitting there on the floor and you can't pick any one of them up or you can't pick up enough of them to combine them, or you get into a room and you have to pick up an item because it's a key item for the game, but you have like bullets and healing items and you can't sacrifice anything. Like,
Oh no, no.
oh,
I mean, back in the early days, I was an idiot, and I would think, oh well, yeah, if I just fire off a couple of shots into the air, then I can reload and I'll have an extra slot, and that is a
ooh.
death sentence. That is the stupidest fucking thing you can do in this game. And my recommendation is take the time, go back to a chest, just item manage. You may find it frustrating. I personally don't, but it's essential.
I don't mind it. Before I left an area, if I knew that I was moving on, like, you have to go into the garden or you have to go down, into the catacombs or whatever. It's like before I left, if there was an opportunity to, I had some clear avenues and I could just go into some rooms and pick up items, I would just do shuttle runs and just drop shit um, into the bin. And then I would just outfit myself for my next, you know, whatever I had to do next.
That
But
that's that was pretty much my
yeah,
strategy. There is, I always kept a couple of her extra slots open there, like that way I had space and
Oh yeah,
tried not to take too much. If I had to run back and grab a herb that was in that chest, that was fine by me.
yeah, absolutely. The magical chests that all lead to the same pocket dimension. which is
Yep.
incredibly useful.
Yeah, it's like the room of requirement or whatever. It's like there's like some sort of portal that whatever. It's fine.
All of your items are available anywhere inside or outside the mansion, but
You know what?
that's just
I
nitpicking.
appreciate it.
Oh, for sure.
Well, the fact that they also use like Silent Hill uses a I don't know, like I know in Silent Hill 2 it's like a red poster, in Silent Hill 3 it's like some sort of emblem, but it's always like a glowing red thing on the wall. And for whatever reason in Resident Evil they decided to make it a typewriter, which is really goofy because in the mansion it makes sense for there to be typewriters around, but it doesn't really make sense for there to be a typewriter in some random cavern underground that's like right outside the mansion.
But who also owns this many typewriters and thinks I need to spread them around my mansion?
You never know when.
Just in case I have an idea.
He's
right?
a man of fine taste. He's just collects vintage typewriters.
Absolutely.
This is actually something I don't
Oswald
like about
Spencer
the game.
likes to take notes wherever he is in his mansion.
This is actually something I don't like about the game is the limited amount of ink ribbons you get.
Oh,
So you got
yes.
to be really tactical with your save, and I get why they're doing it, but at the same time, if I have to go back 2 hours of progress because I couldn't find a typewriter or an ink ribbon, I'm not starting that game back up because you've just killed my motivation to move forward.
Yeah, that has happened
It's
before.
tough.
And there are some stretches where you are really getting tense because you're like, I have this ink ribbon, but I want to see how far I can go before I save again because I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to do this is. And
Yeah, you have the ink ribbon and you have the red health.
And
yeah.
And I will say there are times where there is a typewriter, but there is not a bin to like take the ink ribbons out of your inventory. So you just basically have to burn an inventory slot on ink ribbon. There's one spot in particular where like right before you go up to a boss, there's like a typewriter for you to save, but it's like it's not like I'm carrying an ink ribbon at this point. I can't afford the item slot.
Yeah,
so you have to like make a choice. Like, do I want to carry a healing item or do I want to make sure I have an ink ribbon so I can save just in case?
Or do I want to use save states?
I did. I will fully admit I use save states playing it on the PS Plus
that
version.
wasn't a jab at you.
I know.
Sorry, that wasn't a jab.
Well, no, I didn't take it as that, and it was kind of funny too because like when I finished the game, it was like, congratulations, you finished the game in I don't know, it was like 6.5 hours, and it was like, and you saved 0 times. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at me.
Wow, look at how good I am at this game.
master fucking play.
So yeah, I know that I finished this game with an asterisk, and I don't care.
I mean,
it's 2025. We don't judge anymore.
No, like this game does not respect your time, and at the time it didn't have to.
Just play it.
Yeah,
play it
because
however you want to play it.
Right.
I just love the tension that and the genuine fear that is created when you have to make the decision. Do I save before this boss fight, or do I take my chances and save after this boss fight? And it's just another layer of just how this game just fucks with you.
Those boss fights sucked. Oh my god.
I have to disagree.
Well, let me think about. Some of them sucked, but most of them sucked. I just like I said with the tank controls, you know, me forgetting how they fucking worked as soon as I was in any sort of danger, like that applies double if there's a boss fight. Like, and a lot of it, like the boss fights are figuring out ways that you can get through it without necessarily like your combat is not your strong suit in a boss fight in this game. You have to
combat's not your strong suit in this game
at all.
Force.
At all, unless you find the Magnum. I mean that gun was fucking awesome,
game changer.
But yeah, like the serpent that you have to fight, I think it's called like Yawn.
Yawn, yeah.
That first one fucking pissed me off because it was like I can barely move to begin with, because I can't figure out how to make my way from one end of the room to the other, and the angle switches. And then it's like trying to, I mean, it's heading you off, obviously. It's trying to kill you, but it's like you can get to the back where you need that item and then try to make your way back forward. But there were a couple times when it just like completely blocked my path.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so how many times are you going to, fire your game back up from your save spot at the typewriter, make your way all the way back there, and then, have a unlucky run where it, blocks your path again? It kind of, I know it's not random, but when you're struggling with the controls, it does feel random, whether or not you're going to get stuck behind something.
Yeah, there's a
So
fair
that
amount
was
of
tough.
luck
I
involved.
didn't like those types of boss battles.
I did like the fact that, the game doesn't tell you necessarily that you don't have to fight it. It's something that you kind of have to discover for yourself.
Right.
And, I like what it did in terms of the story, especially like you can get through that fight and not get bitten and just carry on as normal. You can get through that fight, get the emblem that you need, and you've been poisoned, which then opens up a whole other sort of storyline
Right.
with Rebecca. I don't know, you get into you just never know what you're going to find next in this game. Like you walk into an attic and all of a sudden there's a giant snake, and the first time that thing came out of the wall at me, it's just like, I just about shit. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Like, why is there a giant? Unless, like, some of the, and to get into the story, like the story in the we haven't talked about the story much, but the story I think was really fun and explained a lot of the weird shit that you were seeing, but it didn't quite explain the giant snake and the giant spiders. Like, those are just kind of there.
Yeah. Because even if you watch the movie and stuff like that, the whatever the serum is, I can't remember what it's called. It doesn't make animals grow. It it just turns people into zombies. So zombified everything would have made sense, but yeah, this gigantic snake is kind of
Yeah,
why maybe get an exterminator.
all the documents like talked about, like, oh, I'm, people turning into zombies, or like the writers themselves going through the process of turning into a zombie. And like it apparently fucks with plants, like plants were acting up and stuff like that, so you have to fight like there's vines and plants and shit. But
Yeah.
but like but like no one was like, oh, and there's a fucking giant snake in the attic, or like there's giant spiders everywhere. It's just like, those are just a bonus.
Absolutely. Yep. You get those for free with every T virus.
I named the spider Blinky.
I think it sort of comes down to the difference between, I guess, the outbreak of the virus and that sort of mode of transmission versus what they were actually doing in that fucking lab, and just like endlessly experimenting on these creatures and just actively turning them into these biological weapons. So
Yeah, I suppose.
that's kind of the distinction there.
Yeah, well,
Well,
they could have done it better. They should have done it better.
right. Well, you do find that document that outlines, like, it shows you the hunters or the stalkers or whatever. I think they're called hunters, right?
Mm-hmm.
It shows you the dogs. So there's basically just like mutated Dobermans. And can I say, like,
Here we go.
I didn't feel as bad in this game, but this is 2 games in a row, fellas, where I've had to shoot dogs. And I'm not happy about it.
Oh, then you're gonna hate next week's game called Puppy Killer.
Yeah. Puppy Killer
Oh.
Simulator.
Yeah. Just pop them in a sack and no. Anyway,
Oh, we're gonna make Sam play Nintendogs, but we're not gonna give him the ability to feed the dogs. He has to watch them slowly.
Oh my
die
god.
in front
No,
of him.
it's going to be like
Jesus.
Nintendogs for like the dogs at the shelter that don't get adopted. You just like have to euthanize all of them. Like, god
oh
damn
my
it.
god.
Hit press X to put the needle in. Press Y to push the plunger.
Oh.
Fuck. I think I'm done with this show. I'm out. How did we even get onto this bullshit? Sam shooting dogs. I mean, listen, to be fair, like you were doing these dogs a favor. Let's be honest. I mean, that's
Oh yeah, they were gross.
Yeah, at the time they're a zombie. I mean, they're already dead, Sam. You're not killing dogs. You are preventing them from killing you at this point.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
I mean, the Far Cry ones were far more egregious. I did not enjoy that.
and these cunts deserve it, because every time I walk down that corridor and those dogs burst in through the window, even though I know it's coming, it fucking shits me up every time it happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that is an iconic moment in this game, already filled with iconic moments. But that, ask any Resident Evil fan about that particular corridor, and yeah, they'll all say the same thing. You know it's coming.
I can proudly say that I didn't unload my gun into the air when the dogs jumped through the windows this time.
Did you unload your bowels?
No, I didn't.
Ah, nice one.
I've improved a little bit. I didn't just like, oh my god, or was it from Archer? Suppressing fire.
Oh God, I love that show. But yeah, so we've got we've got the zombies, which I guess are the main event, the main draw. Although kind of just your basic shambling masses that are fairly easy to put down, especially when you have that shotgun. And
Oh yeah.
the satisfaction of popping heads with that shotgun is unparalleled.
It's like pimple popping videos.
Yes, fucking right, absolutely.
Don't want to watch them? Still do.
Yeah.
Oh,
you have
absolutely.
to. Oh, and it always annoys me when they never go for the really big one. They're just
Oh,
they're
yeah.
just teasing.
Dr. Pimple
They're
Popper.
just teasing around the outside. It's just like, go for the big one.
Explode,
Violent-
explode, you bastard.
Violently,
Same thing with these zombies and the shotgun. You just
I was going to say,
I want you to pop, I want
violently
you to
edging
pop.
to pimple popper videos. So you got your zombies, you got your dogs, the Cerberus dogs. What else? You mentioned the spiders, which listen, guys, I am a huge arachnophobe. Like, let me tell you.
Oh, fuck those spiders.
They are fucking awful.
No, Sam, no fuck spider.
Oh.
Well, the tarantula, like there's the big one that's the boss fight, but the ones that you see, they're only in a couple of rooms in the entire game. But I tried to kill one. I don't know why I stopped and fought, but I'm like, fuck this spider. I have to get around to this. There's like a code on the pool table to open a door somewhere, and I was like, I know it's there, and I got to get around these spiders. I'm gonna at least kill one of them. And I killed it, and it burst into like 1,000 little tiny ones.
Oh, that room is such a fucking troll in general. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I never deal with that room. I just go without.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
if you already know, does the code change ever, or is it always the same?
I don't think so. I just never bother because spiders and that dun, 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 dun noise of their feet on the ground and everything. I don't like them, Sam. I don't like them, and I would like to avoid them.
So I will
Funny, because
say,
spiders don't actually make noise when they move around, so there's probably one like above your head right now.
Fuck off, Brian.
fuck.
Fuck,
And you would never know.
fuck
Well-
all the way off, and then when you get there, fuck off a little bit more.
I will say, I did advocate playing with a guide just because you will never. It's too hard to find everything at this point in the game. It's 2025. Play with a guide.
Oh, sure. I played with
yeah.
a guide back in 96, 97. Like, I had
Yeah,
a beloved magazine that I
Oh,
wore
but
down to
I
bits.
will-
That would have been
I
better.
will say one thing about this game
Yeah.
is even though it really encourages exploration, I did not enjoy the exploration of this game because if I avoided killing zombies, which I did a lot, I knew I had to like football dodge every fucking zombie on my way back to explore the mansion a bit more.
Yes, absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
They are so slow that you can kind of Tecmo Bowl them though. Like you just backpedal and then kind of set them up to move in a certain direction, and then if you're lucky and configure the controls, you can head the other direction and bypass all of them if it's wide enough.
I mean,
It's just that
there are certain corridors and certain areas where they will more or less always do the same thing. So if you know exactly, because they always have the same start point in any area. So if you know where that is, you sort of have a game plan before you even get there.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention with the spiders, not to go back to the spiders, sorry, Alan, but there was one particular point. I was so fucking pissed at this guide that I was using, because first of all, like whoever wrote it didn't know the difference between the your and your, like you and your and you are. Like, come on, figure it out. But also, they would like leave shit out or assume that it was easy, like run through this hallway. It's like, motherfucker, there's like 5 zombies in there. You weren't going to mention that? So that room that I was talking about with the pool table and the code, on the guide that I was playing, he just said, like, go into this room. There's a pistol clip if you head up, and there's an ink ribbon. And then you head down the room, and there's a pool table, and then you're supposed to check it for this code. And I was like, okay, no problem. I walk in there, and I'm like, there's fucking giant spiders on the ceiling. You weren't going to mention that? So it's like, here I'm trying to, like, gather the items in this room, and fuck that. Like, I finally made my way down and got my code, and then I made my way out, barely, but it's just like, if you're writing any sort of guide or doing any sort of guide and you leave out shit like that, you're a fucking animal. Get out of here.
Sam wants to know the scary.
I got stuck somewhere, so I watched a video because, like Sam said, some of the guides are absolute ass.
They're bad.
And I was watching this. Yeah, I was watching the video of this guy, and he was just running through the hallway like it was nothing, dodging zombies.
Mm-hmm.
They're turning around, like he runs into them and then just manages to skirt by them. Tried that once, zombies eating my head, and I'm like, you motherfucker. I was like, how the fuck do you do that?
Oh, yeah, there is a way to sort of duck back out of the lunge, and they're pretty much useless after that for like a second or two. I've never mastered that ability. Kudos to anyone who has, but no, I basically just dodge them from afar and sort of always know where to be in that corridor. But no, fuck zombie teasing.
Yeah, that's the Tecmo Bowl method. If you know, you know, where you can like run back and you know, just kind of slowly make your way back while while dodging everything. We should talk about Tecmo Bowl someday. That's a good game.
I've heard of it. I've never played. I think that's on Switch Online.
It is. Yeah, it's a fun one.
Well, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Future planning in the middle of an episode.
Yeah, as we like to do.
As we do. Should we?
We do this all the time, though. I'm just going to do a sidebar here, but we'll talk about another game as a comparison, and then we'll just sit there for like 30, 40 seconds, like, yeah, we should play that. Yeah, no.
That's how the show grows. That's how it evolves. Yeah. That's.
I'm pretty sure we do it every episode.
How we plan. At least once. Love video games. Should we talk about the hunters then? Should we talk about these fuckers? Because this is what I alluded to earlier on. While we're talking about enemies, you start off in the mansion, and the worst you have to deal with are the zombies and the dogs. And okay, you know, you get a handle on that pretty early on. You know, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. You go to the guardhouse, which I really enjoy that section of the game. You know, spiders notwithstanding. When you come back to the main mansion for the second time, there is that little cutscene that plays where it shows that something is chasing you up the exact path that you've just taken, and it gets to the door, and you just see this clawed hand open the door, and then all of a sudden there's this fucking abomination just hoved into view behind you, and it honestly, it scares me every time. I know exactly when it's going to happen. It happens the same time every time, but the hunters just take the difficulty of this game up several notches.
They kind of want that. I mean, they appear second half of the game. At that point, you're pretty much becoming overpowered for the regular zombie. So you need something that challenges you a little bit. So why not fucking make it too challenging?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like the game is like, hold my beer. You were like, oh, I got the shotgun, I'm rolling. Just hang on, we're gonna throw a wrench in your works.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you're having fun in the mansion there. It'd be a shame if I fucking ruined it for you.
You've got a shotgun. Well, we've got these giant fucking gorilla lizards that can clear 20 feet in one jump and slice your head clean off your shoulders. Thanks, guys.
Oh,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
They do have an insta kill. If you let them jump at you, they can take your head off. And it's like a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
Fuck those things.
I know.
Like anytime there were two of them in a hallway and they started kind of like hopping around, I was like, fuck.
No. Just nope.
And when they're jumping and you shoot, you'll miss them. Like, it's hard enough to like in a game where the control scheme is set up like this and you can't truly aim. It's just such a dick move to have things like jump at you like that, and then like if you pull the trigger while they're in mid jump, you're not hitting them.
No.
which I guess is.
Every time a bullet misses an enemy, I got angry.
Oh,
Oh,
me
yeah.
too. Because I'm like, I only have like 5 of those. Fuck you.
Big time. I mean, you can pick hunters out of the air if you aim up, and every time you do it,
Yeah.
it's just you feel like a boss. But the timing on it is so fucking precise that, by and large, you've wasted your shot forward. It's jumped behind you. It's taken several chunks out of your calf muscles, and then it just jumps and beheads you. And it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake! And usually you've not saved in a while. You have to go all the way
Yeah.
back, and just I love them as enemies go, but fuck them. They're just awful.
Yeah. And like it renders the shotgun obsolete basically. Like you're going to have problems as soon as they show up. And if I hadn't followed this guide and done the extra little, basically it's like an extra little side quest to get the Magnum, cuz eventually you start picking up these Magnum rounds, and it's like, oh shit, there must be another gun somewhere. And that Magnum is fucking awesome. Like it'll one shot those hunters. So it's like, oh, you want to fuck with me? You want to? It's like you want to start like screaming at me and jumping. It's like, bam, you're gone. But if you don't have that gun, like it makes the rest of this game incredibly difficult.
Oh yeah, no, that Magnum really levels the playing field, and it's the temptation, of course, is to use it on fucking everything. And again, you kind of have to remember you're playing a survival horror, so you maybe keep a couple of those to the end of the game because you're gonna need them.
That's where I was worried because I had already run out of shotgun shells and I wasn't really finding any more. And I thought, like, for sure, I was really having to heavily lean on the Magnum at the end of the game. And I thought I was going to run out.
It gets that way by the end of it. I mean, but the thing is,
Yeah.
with that in hand, you don't need many for the bosses, but you need enough. Which is a stupid
and you
thing
can't
to say,
miss. Like, if you're frantically running around trying to avoid the boss's attacks, you're gonna potentially run out of bullets faster for sure because you're gonna be putting a couple of them into the wall behind the boss.
Oh, that is the worst miss you can make in the game. A Magnum
missing
bullet.
a boss, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But again, I mean, we've talked about Yawn. We kind of touched on the was it Plant 42, which I actually really like the puzzle that you have to do before that in order to create the V-jolt to kill the roots off, which for some reason doesn't kill off the plant like it's supposed to. But okay, whatever. Still a good time.
Yeah, it's like it weakens it or whatever. That plant boss kind of sucked. Just because like the angles of the room changed. Yeah, the angles of the room changed so much, and then you're trying to aim at it, and I think I missed. Like this plant takes up the entire room, and I can shoot in its general direction and miss, like just because the angle of the room changed a bunch. But I will say I did enjoy the puzzle where you're Rachel and you have to make the V jolt or whatever, V volt or whatever shit, where you have to add up, like, I don't know, it's basically, it's like a basic number or logic puzzle. It kind of reminded me of like a Professor Layton style puzzle, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, definitely. And it gives it does give Rebecca some agency as well in the game, because up until that point she kind of has a little bit of the damsel in distress thing about her, but she really comes in handy in a pinch. Like I really like her character.
I liked it whenever she showed up because I knew that I was going to get a free heal out of it, and usually she was helpful.
Just take with you, isn't it, Sam?
Yes. Well, in that situation, yeah, I think it would be.
Oh, I've just had my head cleaved off. Is there anything you can do for me?
Yeah, sew it back on, whatever.
And then to my mind, and yeah, I mean, the spider boss is really a lot of nothing.
I actually use the flamethrower, or you can use the knife alternatively, but you go behind it and you can like burn off the web and just walk through.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I did. I was like, I'm not fucking with this thing.
I'll be honest, like that whole section of the underground is a bit of a blind spot for me. I always forget it's there. Like I remember the guardhouse, the mansion, the lab, all of that stuff, but for some reason I just don't remember the underground.
And that underground up to the spider fight is really kind of tough because if you do things in the wrong sequence, that place gets absolutely swarmed with hunters.
Yes,
You need to
definitely.
go into the generator room and pick up the items first, and then come around and talk to Enrique or Enrico or whatever his name
Yeah.
is.
Rico.
And then when you go back and pick up the crank or whatever, then there's hunters. But like if you talk to him first and then try to like do everything, kind of backwards, like it
You're
fucking
gonna have
sucks.
a bad time.
Yeah, for sure. And that was one point where I was really, really low on ammunition, and I did not have the capacity to deal with as many hunters as were in there. So I like really had to like a wing and a prayer like run through there, and you have to set the flamethrower back down on the pedestal in order to get the door to open again.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
trying to
which-
do that with hunters like trying to fuck with me. So that sucked.
Yeah. It's nice that they wait while you do that, but whenever you sort of trigger some sort of animation and the hunters freeze, they've always just got their claw just ready to take a swing at you.
Yeah. It's like, ugh.
No.
There
Did
was
we lose-
those
did
and
we
one
lose
other
Brian?
enemy really fucking pissed me off.
What was that?
Oh, those chimeras, those little fucking monkeys that are in the lab.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah.
That was my least favorite part of the game, and I was already like, like I just want to be done, and like you have to go and that was another part of the guide. That's the guide's fault, not the game's fault. But that was another part of the guide that was wrong. It got a couple things out of sequence and made that part more difficult than it had to be.
Sure. And that's very late in the game to be introducing an entirely new enemy. And
Oh
again,
yeah, like
They gotta do it.
yeah, are you are you almost done? Well, fuck you. Here's some like zombie monkeys that are gonna swing around and knock you
again,
down.
it's just like I'd never, no matter how many times I've played this game, I always forget about. I know about their existence, but they're just the kind of enemy that's like I can't remember what game they turn up in, and then I see them, I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Damn it, it's this one.
Damn it, it's this. You couldn't have waited till Resident Evil 2, guys. Come on.
Well, I'm turning off the console and throwing it in the ocean.
Not before you fight the tyrant, you're not. Which I think is incredibly fucking cool.
The tyrant was sweet, and the little like
That's the
cinematic
big
that
dude
plays.
that comes out of the glass with the near the end of the game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like a big giant zombie with like a lobster claw for some reason.
It's just the ultimate bioweapon.
Because when they got him, he was dining at Red Lobster, and then he wouldn't let go of the lobster. So when they mutated him, the claw became part of him.
Could you imagine if you went into a place that had live lobsters in the tank and that thing is just sitting there like, I'll have that one. It's like they just serve you the claw. Please
Definitely
boil
get your
him
money's
alive.
worth.
He's a bastard.
But yeah, very, very cool boss. And I like the whole storyline that happens. And we've not really there is kind of almost a murder mystery. It's almost Scooby Doo, isn't it? It's just like you're in a mansion. There
Yeah.
are monsters all
Almost,
around.
except for Freddy isn't banging the two chicks while Scooby and Shaggy go
That-
find the ghost.
That you know of.
or
the whole,
or,
the
or
whole
get high
team
and
is,
eat.
the whole team is split up at this point. You don't know what they're doing. But yeah.
Yeah, and it turns into one of those things where you blame the wrong person but the right person, then the big twist reveal near the
That's
end.
it. And the villain is
Yeah.
revealed.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I had like a memory of my childhood, but I saw it coming this time, even though the story felt new.
Well,
It
I mean,
made sense for the type of story it was.
and this is a game from 1996, so I'm just going to say it. It was all Albert Wesker, all along.
Yeah.
And
Wait, was Wesker one of the guys you're in the lobby with at the beginning before you lose Jill?
yes, he's
Okay,
basically
yeah.
the head of Alpha Squad and also a researcher
Yeah.
for Umbrella.
So that's what was kind of telling, is because you could play as Chris, you could play as Jill, and then there's Wexler there, and it's like, well, you basically foreshadowed that Wexler is going to be the one that turns on them, because that's how, like you said, the 90s, that's how these stories went.
True. But what an
Mind you, they
iconic
tried to
villain.
throw the red herring at you.
Of course, they have to. So you never really know until the end, until it's revealed, and then he's unceremoniously butchered by the tyrant.
Yeah, that was cool looking.
Or so you think, because he shows up in later games,
Yeah, he
right?
does. He does. Well, he's effectively
How?
he's an experiment
Well,
himself.
I'll have to play to find out. Yeah, I'll have to play to find out.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
you just told me. Never mind.
Oh, there's
Well, I know
more
the
to
how.
it.
I know the why. I know the end. I just don't know the path to get there. I guess so. I still play it.
Play Code Veronica. It'll all make sense.
Is that
Great
Resident
fucking
Evil
game.
0?
No, it's that's a
It's
whole
a different one.
Resident Evil 0 is actually a great game. It's you play as Rebecca and this like one convict guy whose name I can't remember right now, and it explains like how Rebecca ended up in the mansion after being split off from Bravo team. So it's
Oh, that's
basically
killer. I'd play
it's
that.
a prequel.
Yeah, I have that as part of the Switch collection. It's like a Resident Evil Origins, so it's like 1 and 0.
It's a
I'd
good fucking game.
I'll have to get into that maybe during spooky time.
You see,
Go on, Brian.
I really wish they would take the time to do a remaster on games like Resident Evil 1, 2, 0, and 3, which use these outdated controls and modernize them for newer styles instead of remaking Resident Evil 4, which had more modern controls. And yeah, it's a great game, but didn't need the remake as much as the first games in this series. Like, you could have eventually led up to it, but I'd really like them to start remaking some of these classics and giving them updated controls and
I mean,
game styles and shit like
They
that.
remade 2, didn't
remake.
they?
yeah, they remade 2 and 3 and 1 actually. It's on the GameCube.
But did they keep the tank controls though?
2 and 3, no. 1, it's been a while since I've played. I want to say no, but it's been years. I'd have to replay. I've probably only played it like once, maybe twice. So most of my memories.
I'd love to try one of the
are
remakes.
They're so good. I cannot emphasize how good they are.
Would you play them more than once?
What, the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake? Fuck yeah, I would, and have done. Really, really good times. But we'll talk the original Resident Evil 2 at some point. I don't know what else. I mean, we've got kind of music. Again, music-wise,
Not really.
It's all just ambient, sort of spooky
It's
background
ambient,
music.
yeah.
It's nothing really to write home about. But what I do want to talk about is the voice acting.
Yes.
It's terrible. I love it.
Yes, Brian, no notes. That is,
Yeah.
that's the opinion.
I just love
It is.
It's very like it's all I got the impression that it was obviously this Capcom made it, so originally it's Japanese, but I got the impression that it was like kind of badly translated, or like basically like literally translated, but not, they didn't punch up the dialogue for any sort of like context for how we would, how Americans would speak or whatever. So it's just like, or how English speakers would say, I don't want to be exclusive, but how English speakers would actually like say the lines. So it's got this like really disjointed, like someone's reading a list almost, or like the emotions don't match the words. Like, I'm going to go blow something up.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and it was translated by Capcom in Japan and was overseen by Shinji Mikami.
There are just so many iconic lines that have come out of this one game.
Yeah.
I mean, you were nearly a Jill sandwich. Or, fuck, what else? Oh, I found a lockpick. Maybe you, the master of unlocking, should take it. And it's just like, it's so bad, but it just adds so much to the charm.
But this is that time where instead of having like a big movie script style thing for actors to read, they would be given their lines they had to say with like very little context of how it's supposed to play out. So they would say it in several different ways, and they'd use the best cut from that. So yeah, if you're saying like, I could go for a sandwich, and you're in the middle of a horror game, but you don't know that, you're going to be happy because, oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to go for a sandwich. Not, I'm gonna go for a sandwich or die.
It's
Wasn't there
just
also a rumor that the voice
perfect.
actors were given the lines and they didn't know that it was for a horror game?
Yeah,
I would
probably.
It
believe
was
it.
just like, yeah,
I
like
don't
read
know that.
these. What's it for? I don't know.
Yeah. It's just it's God, it's so fucking perfect. I just love it so much. This, the second one, the third one, they're all the same. They're all terrible for voice acting, and I one day hope that I can voice act this terribly. Um, in a game like this, it'd be a dream come true.
They just don't make them like that
Okay.
anymore, you know?
Nah,
Like now it's like Hollywood actors or whatever lending their voices and likenesses to these games. Like it's just this doesn't happen anymore. Unfortunately, that's kind of the charm to a game of this style.
Oh yeah, like having absolutely unknown voice actors in video games just ups the level, and you don't realize like at the time it's like, oh my god, this is so bad. But as you grow with the game, you learn to love it because it adds to the charm of the overall product in these bad voice actings. Like there's one game I play a lot, and it's a role playing game called Grandia, and the voice acting sounds the exact same way. Like it doesn't feel right for the situation what they're talking, and it just makes the game so charming. Now, this being a horror game is not charming, but it really does make the game have a level of
yeah,
fun to it that you wouldn't otherwise
it's
get.
got
It's
that.
like a cheesy horror movie. It's a B movie,
That
you
is
know.
literally the sentence that was about
Oh
to come
yeah.
out of my mouth.
Oh, sorry.
Like literally
Stole your words.
word for word. I could not agree with you more. And
I kick ass for the Lord.
and as we sort of start to wrap this thing up, like we've seen loads of retro inspired games, indie games, and what have you, come out recently. Do you think there's any room for like going beyond the pixel art style and maybe doing some retro inspired early PS1 style games with all the bad voice acting and all the like the janky angles and things like that? I mean, do you think there's any
Oh, for
room for
sure.
that anymore? I'd play them.
Yeah, I think some games have come out like that. I know that there's I thought there was a Resident Evil type survival horror game. I'd have to look it up, and if you know of the game, let us know on Discord
Please,
or wherever.
I will play it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and I know that
It
there was a hockey game like that and a wrestling game that was supposed to come out in like the N64 style.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you're getting games like that nowadays, you're getting them from independent developers. You're
For
not
sure.
getting them from the big
Oh yeah.
studios because they spend so much time trying to make everything perfect and so realistic that I don't know. It's getting kind of boring. I really do miss just the charm of games that were made by developers or made by gamers
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, 100%. And this game is chock full of charm. Chock full of it. And zombies, which is always a good time. Don't care what anyone says.
And spiders.
Oh, cheers for that, buddy. Uh, anyone got anything else they want to say before we wrap this thing up?
Nothing from my end.
No,
No,
you keep
I
your
was
end quiet.
the sense of relief that I was able to finish it last night is I can't explain it.
Well, there you go. You'll have to fire up number 2 now, or 0. Either way, I
Yeah, I'd probably
intend.
go 0 because I actually really liked as kind of annoying as she comes off. I thought Rachel's character was kind of fun because, like I said, usually when she showed up, good stuff happened. Like you got healed or you got some items or something.
Sure. um, I don't know. Then what say we? I mean, I'm going to make you guys play all of these games. That's my plan. That's why I joined in the first place.
I'm all right with it.
Uh,
I'm busy washing my hair that week.
well, fuck you and your spiders. This is breaking down entirely. Shall we give our final thoughts and score this thing and go home?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Who wants to start? You know what? Let's go with Brian.
Damn it. I was going to ride off Sam's coattails. Okay, let's summarize this game. A lot of memories of this game when I was young, back in the rental day. I had to like walk to the rental store, so when I picked a game, I made sure I was going to enjoy it. and I rented this one a few times to finish it. Playing it again, I don't have that same feeling, so it's going to get most of its score from the nostalgia that comes with this game. Um, Tank controls don't hold up for me. It's going to lose a point there. Me not being able to figure out what the theme song was this for the beginning of the episode, it's going to lose a point there.
Jesus.
Not clearly marked. And graphically, it's a again, I'm taking into context of 1996. It is a very good looking game. Pre-rendered backgrounds are the perfect choice for these types of games because if the background ain't moving, you don't need to have a 3D model. Um, the characters, they are of their age. Like, they are blocky. They're early 3D models. I really can't complain about that. The gameplay itself, scary, but it's all jump scares. Not my favorite type of scary game or scary movie or scary anything anymore. As for like the built up tension, I just didn't feel that this time. So I'm gonna take all that. I'm gonna stuff it in a little box, and I'm gonna give this a good solid 7.5 out of 10.
Nice. Still a good score. So
Yeah.
you get to live another day. Um, do you-
I told you it's getting most of it off its
I'll
nostalgia.
take it. I'll take it any way it comes. Sam, as the very new experience. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did not play this game growing up, like I said. So I knew what I was getting into going into it because I've dabbled in it, and I've also played some other um, games of this era that kind of control this way. So I knew what I was getting into. Um, but I think overall I was really impressed by the graphics. I want to say I think um, like the pre-rendered stuff looks really good. The stuff that stands out, I don't think it stands out in a way that looks bad. I just think it stands out in a way that's just enough that you know what to interact with, and I appreciated that. It really didn't like take me out of it or anything. Um, you know, Brian mentioned that the sprite, you don't call them sprites, like 3D, the 3D, like the maquettes or whatever of the characters. I think even for the time, obviously they don't look good now, but for that time, I think they were among the best. Like if you were to put this side by side with GoldenEye, like GoldenEye looks silly, at this point with the just kind of like the painted on face, looking characters and the stupid motions that they do and stuff. Like this game really looked fluid, and the characters had kind of fluid movements. The faces didn't look painted on. I think overall it looked really good. Gameplay, there were some things that pissed me off. Like we mentioned, I mentioned this before we got recording too, but there was a part like right at the end where you're gearing up to fight the final boss, so you're assuming that you should just load up on guns, ammo, and healing items, and if you don't leave a space in your inventory, you can't pick up a battery and carry it 2 feet to activate the elevator. Like shit like that pissed me off. But I don't know, it's all in good fun. I would probably play this again. I think the story is fun. If you were to present me the story on paper, like spooky mansion and, evil corporation with a, top secret pharmaceutical lab underneath and zombies, I'd be like, that's dumb. But as it plays out, it's really fun. I definitely am interested in playing other games in this series, and I think I would play again. I would maybe just play as Jill. So I'm going to stick with Brian's score, though. I agree with your score. It's a solid 7.5. It holds up. It did. Well, I don't know if it holds up. It definitely is influential for what it did, and that's all I got. I mean, I enjoyed my time with it. Mostly, I got really pissed off a lot, but it is what it is. It's a fine game, and it certainly deserves its flowers. So 7.5.
Influential is right. Okay, hold my beer. because I have just nothing but warm, fuzzy, nostalgic feelings for this game. You know, as I said earlier, it is the game. Everyone has that game that you see when you're younger and just think, wow, what a jump. What a jump in graphics. What a jump in like atmosphere. You know, this is games will never look any better than this, which kind of sounds silly now, obviously, given how far that we've come. But, you know, everyone has that one game that just blew them away when they first saw it. And this was mine. It kicked off a love of not only horror, the zombie genre, and this series in general. Like, I will always be excited when there's a new Resident Evil game announced. And it's all because of just how much I adore this fucking game. I mean, the cinematography, the tongue-in-cheek almost kind of B movie that they really lean into just makes what could have been a frankly fucking ridiculous concept and a ridiculous game. It just makes it work because it takes itself seriously just enough to get the job done while also just really leaning on those tropes. And you know, that just ticks all of my boxes. I love the oppressive, the claustrophobic nature of the Spencer Mansion. I mean, that is undeniably an iconic, one of the most iconic settings in video games. I mean, I don't even more so than Raccoon City. I love the way it plays. I love the way that the game just tests you every step of the way and really just makes sure you're paying attention, makes you strategize, makes you just really think about surviving. And that is, for me, why this game is just, you know, perhaps there were games before that started, quote unquote, the survival horror genre, but I think this is the game that put it on the map and defined it and really just set the blueprint for the entire genre going forward. I could this summary could be a podcast in itself. So I'm just gonna call it now. I'm gonna say this game, for everything it's done for me, deserves no less than a 9.5, and I love it, and I'm so fucking happy that we finally got to talk about it. I mean, this has been a good day for me. Ah, I'm done.
Very well done.
You get it out? Did you get it all out?
Oh,
Feeling
and then
better?
some, and then some. My God, what a fucking game! And the only reason it doesn't get a full
Look,
10,
I think I heard you spit on your hand
a
before you
little
started.
bit, a little bit. The only reason it's not getting a full 10 is that later games in the series improved upon a lot of the gameplay aspect, a lot of the movement aspects of this one. So you know, it's incredibly special, incredibly special.
Well,
So that's it.
All right.
I'm glad we covered it.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Well worth me sticking around for. So that's going to do it for Resident Evil for the PlayStation 1. I've had a good time. I don't know about you guys listening. I hope you have. Why not let us know if you have? Come and talk to us on any of our socials, our Discord, any of that good stuff. Brian, where can they find it, and what can they find?
Oh my God, they can find us at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia, where you can find our Instagram or Twitter or Blue Sky. You can find a link to our Discord, or you can just comment on wherever you do your podcast if commenting is available. Please give us a rating, 5 stars preferably if you like us, and let us know if we can do anything better. Also, if you're listening and you want to support us more or join in on the fun of the introduction with the new Choose One, Lose One or the 9-bit banter box, or comment on the game of the week, you can do so at patreon.com/Retrotopia. Again, free to join. We do have a hero tier. For $2 extra, you get a little bit more, and you hear that at the beginning of the show, so I'm not going to repeat it now. Thank you very much. Alan, back to you.
God, he does that so well, doesn't he? Just
Yeah, he does.
glorious. That's
Meanwhile,
that's even better than
meanwhile, you
Resident
throw
Evil.
it to me, and I'm like, Discord.
Well, that works too.
Oh, by the way, I want to officially announce, I'm sitting here looking at the Patreon. I'm very proud. We have 69 members.
Nice. And
We just got one. I'm so happy.
oh my God, and it's capped now. No one else can join. We're
it.
done.
We're
We
done.
have the perfect amount.
Show's over. Show's over.
I'm just kidding. We actually get us to 69-69.
There you go. There you go. That's the next one. That's the
Oh,
next.
what the hell's going on? Now it's saying we have 68. Oh no, we lost somebody.
Oh, well, it's fun while it lasted.
Well, yeah.
That was a good time. Oh well.
It was about
We'll get there eventually.
It was about as long as any of us would last in a 69.
And with that, we will call this train wreck to an end. Anyone got anything they want to say? Anything that I got nothing. I'm spent.
Little stinger for the end.
Go for it. Somebody just take it away.
If you're not evil, don't be a resident. Yay.